Alright, let's finish. Oh great, so I'm gone for a few weeks and you guys let some imposter take over? Justin, when people tell you they want leaders who better reflect them, they don't actually mean that they want people who kind of look like a mirror image of themselves as long as they stand far enough back and squint. I personally would much rather have the cabinet populated by black women who share my politics than by blonde white guys with the politics of Joseph Stalin. Now, I'm not going to speak about 2002 because I was too young at the time to care. My Thursday night usually consists of stressing out about how I'm going to get all my work done before end of day Friday. Hey, Ezet, when you're at the store, could you pick up a bag of being in control? I used the last of it on the feeling in charge pizza. What kind of audience are you anyway? All of you people are perfectly aware that I'm a trans black lesbian non-transitioning trans woman who was born in 4004 BCE and quit my job at Walmart months ago to mooch off Ezet Original and live for free in a villa in hell, and that my least favorite food in the world is feeling in charge pizza. And besides, this fake Logic over here was obviously copying Armored Skeptic.
Logic is another one of those channels that I think would be like right up everyone's alley. Go to his channel and ask him why he is copying Armored Skeptic.
So why didn't even one of you people tweet me, at Logic, about this imposter? I'm disappointed in you. Just so disappointed in all of you. Alright, let's finish this.
Thursday night, I've walked around. Women feel safe walking alone. I don't feel like I've got the need to sin or I've got the need to be evil. I just feel like there's something there in the atmosphere that's making my soul very calm. And, if it happens, and if you do find that Thursday night is a very peaceful night compared to other nights, try that out the next week to see it's not a coincidence and to see if it's not all in your head.
You're proposing this like you actually think that just trying it a bunch of times is going to establish the truth of your claim. No. Just by telling everyone that Thursday's supposed to be peaceful and encouraging them to focus on it, you've already introduced bias. So you don't know if you've unintentionally caused more people to come back saying Thursday is peaceful than actually would under ordinary circumstances or not. But even if everyone comes back saying that Thursday is actually more peaceful, which I can guarantee they won't, especially if they come from my audience instead of from your mosque, but even if they do, all you've actually demonstrated is that your attempt to instill bias might actually have been a little bit effective. But of course that's all hypothetical since nothing of the sort has actually happened. You haven't even done your experiment. I doubt that you even care about the results of it whatsoever because you've already got your answer for yourself, and that's what matters, right? All you've actually done is assume that because you personally feel good on mosque night, which apparently is Thursday, that means every Thursday night is particularly peaceful, not just for you, and not just for the people in your religion, but for everyone in the entire world. There's something to be learned from that about yourself, but there's nothing to be learned from that about the properties of Thursday.
And, that's a physical proof right there.
No, that's telling us your emotions about Thursday, which I'd gamble have been installed in you and everyone in your community since you were kids. See, it's not evidence that Thursday is inherently more peaceful, and it's definitely not evidence of why it's more peaceful. Just walking outside and feeling at peace does not actually tell you that angels have enveloped the earth today and scared away all the demons. And it's even more definitely not evidence of the one thing it was supposed to actually be evidence for, which is the existence of God. So can we please get to your evidence for the existence of God?
There's no point keep on rejecting physical truths when they come to you. If it's the truth, it's the truth.
Yes, you're absolutely right. If it's the truth, it's the truth. If God exists, then yeah, God exists. But you must realize that you've provided zero evidence for God's existence here. See, listen, whatever your name is, you kind of got yourself a little bit confused. Let's say that I actually do grant you that Thursday is more peaceful than any other day. Why is that? No idea. You haven't even tried to establish that. Sure, you've made an assertion about what you think is the cause, but you haven't tried to back up that assertion in any way whatsoever. But if this is such an apparent fact about how the world works, then I hate to burst your bubble, but countless people will have already noticed it throughout history, and Muhammad will just be one of them. And old Mo, given that he was trying to weave a compelling tall tale about a god and angels and jinn and all of that, might just have been clever enough to mention it once or twice and incorporate it into his story. If it's such an obvious thing that happens on Thursday nights, then there's no need for Muhammad to have been divinely inspired whatsoever, nor for any of the other people who must have noticed it, but for whatever reason never decided to write about it. So even if I grant your premise that Thursday is unusually peaceful, you're not suddenly excused from filling in the enormous logical chasm that separates that premise from the conclusion, therefore God exists. Okay? The laziness you're exhibiting here is genuinely shocking.
Right, the second proof of God's existence is very similar to this Thursday night thing which I've just talked about. But It's basically the month of Ramadan compared to other months of the years.
No way, dude. Save it. This is the exact argument you just made, just with a month instead of a day. I'm not holding your hand through this entire thing another time, but there is one tiny aspect of it that I will address, just for the sake of thoroughness.
Just remember what the last month felt like. So what this month of July and the end of June felt like before last week. Did it feel calm? Did it feel like, did it feel very similar to Thursday night, basically? Did it feel very calm compared to what it feels like now?
July and the end of June 2015. Did it feel calm? Well, for your information, baby Elzebub was born towards the end of June, so I would have to say, Mr. Smart Guy, that July and the end of June was one of the most stressful periods of my entire fucking life. Somehow it was even more stressful than any of the times that I've had to debunk Kent Hovind. And that's saying a lot. As a matter of fact, I'd happily take April 2016 over July 2015 any time given the choice. By the way, did you ever consider that a change in your eating habits might have some sort of impact on your mood, and that hindsight tends to sand the finer rough edges off the past?
Because it definitely does for me. For me, last month was very calm. It felt like, I used to walk around and I feel like there's no need to sin or no need to, have those demonic spirits like ebbing away at you and things like that.
Which is what makes Thursday and Ramadan so special. So by implication, when it's not Thursday and it's not Ramadan, you feel like you need to sin and like you have demons, ebbing all over your face. Are you sure you're alright? I'm starting to wonder if you haven't been breathing in a bit too much of that angel dust.
The third physical proof that God exists is, the heart. I mean, what does the heart tell you?
Bubble, bubble, bubble.
The heart is more than a physical organ. It's a spiritual organ as well.
And I think it's safe to assume that the next sentence will contain the evidence for that assertion. It'll probably be something like, "Don't you always feel more spiritually at peace when you're not having a heart attack?"
Prophet Muhammad said that there's a one clot of flesh in your body. If it's good, the whole body becomes good. If it's bad, the whole body becomes bad. And it's the heart.
Okay, so the condition of your heart has an effect on your overall physical health, basically. Yeah, I'm aware that the heart is a physical organ and that it's useful, but how is it a spiritual organ?
The heart contains all the secrets of your soul, your happiness, your hope, your desires, your love, everything. That's why it all resides. It doesn't reside in your head, it resides in your heart.
That wasn't Muhammad, was it? I haven't checked, it's just it sounded like that was your assertion, not his. Not that it makes any difference who makes the batshit crazy assertion, obviously. Now, I'm going to assert that if you sustain a serious brain injury, your happiness, hope, desires, and love are all a hell of a lot more likely to change than if you survive a heart attack. Why do I think that? Because you gotta be fucking kidding me, that's why.
And if you believe in God, your heart's going to be incredibly strong. And if you don't believe in God, your heart's going to be black and it's going to have no light.
I'm having a hard time deciding if you intend for that to be taken literally, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I think what you're trying to say is that people are statistically more likely to be happier if they believe in God. And that could easily be true. It really doesn't matter to me because truth is more important to me than comforting delusions. In the words of George Bernard Shaw, which in this community are overused almost to the point of cliché, but still no less well put for all that.
The fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness and by no means a necessity of life.
Because I can pretend in my body that I'm a good person. I can pretend with my face and with my mouth that I'm a very good moral person. I can say, hello, how are you? I care about you so much. And I can say all these good things and show real love and affection to people. But if my heart doesn't believe in God, all that is just a facade. It means nothing.
Wow, okay. I was really wrong about what you meant.
It's done on the overlay of evil.
Horribly, tragically wrong. It wasn't at all about being happier. It was about being morally superior. If someone doesn't believe in God, to you, they are evil. They don't contain any good, they just pretend to have some good in them, but at the core, they're all just rotten scum with no redeeming qualities. Well, you sound like just a lovely person to be around. But let me get this straight. Your whole third physical proof that God exists is just, look into your heart, dude. Do you believe in God? Because if not, you're evil. Therefore, God exists. Yeah, that's always a real effective way to win over the non-believers. Let me just take a gander at the old heart here and, hey, I don't believe in God. Wait, that means I'm evil? I didn't know that! Thank you so much for informing me, Mr. Muslim! Now that I know, I'll start believing in God, because I could just turn my sincere beliefs on and off like a light switch! Okay, I turned off the evil switch and now I believe in God, thanks!
Basically, you're putting an act on that you're a good person when you're actually not a good person.
Ditto, asshole.
Because God says in the Quran, if you don't believe in God, whatever deeds you've done, whatever good deeds you've done, you've merited. You might have given charity, so much money to charity, you might have been so good to people, you might have done this or that. All those good deeds are worthless.
Which just shows you how important it is to make people stop believing in this divisive nonsense, because it's the underlay of a lot of people's misery.
Which just shows you how strong, how important it is to believe in God, because that's the underlay. That's the underlay to all your goodness.
Har har fucking har.
That's why you'll see all these atheists and, on YouTube, like Jacqueline Glenn, and other, like the Amazing Atheist and so on.
And Logic? Eh?
You'll see that their body looks so nourished. They look like, they wear these black t-shirts and they've got their faces are gaunt and their bones, they look so bony and their faces look so unhealthy. Why is that? Because they don't believe in God. And if you don't believe in God, your body's not going to be nourished. It's not going to be nourished at all.
For a second there, I was considering putting together a list of currently in-shape atheists just to respond to that. But you said atheists have bony, gaunt faces because they don't believe in God, and as an example, you used the Amazing Atheist. And not only that, by saying that religious people look better because they believe in God, you're essentially holding yourself up as the example of how to look, which, not to say anything, but you're critiquing other people's appearances. If God's so great and that's the best he can do,
If you believe in God, your heart will make your whole body feel great. And be great.
Hey, show us your washboard abs. And then tell us how you got them from believing in God and not from jogging and sit-ups.
So, like I said, these three things have given you physical proof that God exists.
Two of them were the same thing, and even if they were true, they wouldn't point to anything like God's existence. In the third one, you didn't even attempt to provide any evidence, but it was just a bigoted smear against everyone who refuses to believe the same stupid shit you spew on camera. And none of them were physical evidence, it's all just...
Search your feelings, you know it to be true.
So if you don't mind, since you're doing a video on physical evidence for God, could you maybe try to provide at least one piece of physical evidence before you go?
And, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Someday. But I'll see you.
Guess not, bye.
Bye.
If you've enjoyed this, remember to subscribe so you can catch my future videos. If you'd like to support me, you can donate on Patreon, or you can make a one-time donation on PayPal. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Logic in both places. And if you have requests for videos for me to debunk, you can tweet them to me using #LogicRequest, or post them to rlogic on Reddit. All the links for that stuff are in the description. And I also want to thank all of my Patreon supporters.